Well, it's Friday the 29th of August, a new moon in Virgo. For the next week, take what works for you and leave the rest. This is episode 1922 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited in 1 hour by me, at the JMO. Today's one of those days that I wish I had a bit more time to work on my script, as I don't quite think it works. But anyway, thanks for the conversations this week, Alex Andrews of commonknowledge.coop and Amit Sabanchi, whose newsletter, Weird and Deadly Interesting, you should definitely subscribe to. Also, a nod to Venkat Rao for his ongoing thoughts on quote-unquote Waldenponding, a crude caricature of which is smash your smartphone and go live in a log cabin to reclaim your attention and your life from being hacked by social media platforms, or digital detoxing. There was an article in The Guardian this week called Innocence Lost, What Did You Do Before the Internet by Leah McLaren. The article is a mixed musing on what might life have been like before the age of the internet, the attention economy, and it also speaks about the appropriate design code from the UK's Information Commission that's due to go before Parliament this autumn. It's an interesting but very Guardian-y story. One of the people that she interviews is Michael Harris, author of The End of Absence. He talks about doing activities like spending an afternoon writing in longhand or reading 150 pages in a single sitting are simple in theory but terrifying in practice. Harris also says the following, quote, "The experience of empty space allows for the growth of imagination and independent thought, the ability to form ideas without being swayed by mass opinion or bot armies. Moreover, he says, virtual connection impedes our ability to connect and empathize. When you are inundated with mediated social connectivity, it's increasingly difficult to devote your attention to the people you are actually with." End quote. He worries that in future, only the privileged few will be able to take regular digital detoxes from the exhausting demands of the attention economy. I've spoken a few times on how I've been trying to rethink my relationship with the internet, and Venkat, in his essay Against Waldenponding in the Breaking Smart newsletter, introduces a few ideas on the assumptions around digital detoxes that are worth poking at. The feeds, or the attention economy, he calls the quote-unquote giant social computer in the cloud, and that blaming or shaming platform UX designers for your desire to exit is giving them way too much credit. And if I'm reading him correctly, he seems to say that wanting to exit from social media is actually driven by FOBO, or fear of being ordinary, a fear of having nothing to show for playing your part in the social computer, rather than a fear of having your mind and productive potential destroyed by your hacked attention. He closes the essay with this, quote, "We are now all part of a powerful global social computer in the cloud that is possibly the only mechanism that we have available to tackle the big problems of the world that the industrial age mechanisms are failing to cope with. We might as well get good at it. Do your part. Stay as plugged in as you can." End quote. What I actually think we need to interrogate is, where are we plugged in? Amit wrote in a blog recently that also referenced Waldenponding that he has, quote, "decided to go with lurking and automation for a while, meaning I'll mostly be in read-only mode, exception will be in private channels, and most of the posting will happen through automated stuff. But this also means more blog posts, regular newsletters, and Patreon posts, because those are, in a sense, private channels too." End quote. So generating content like blogs and only posting automated links to them out to the feeds. What he's doing is moving back towards what Warren Ellis calls the aisles of blogging. Folks that are slowly leaving social media to engage with and generate richer and deeper conversations elsewhere. I would also include myself in this category. Venkat does this too. Whilst he is a prolific tweeter, unlike many folks on the platform, he transmutes them into a newsletter that's then referenceable. Where he and I diverge is that I do think that there is a problem with the feeds. Many platforms have made leaving the platform feel like a big deal. Following a link on Twitter makes you feel like you are darting out into the rain to read it. Then you dash back in again to safety. This leave and return means you are actually caught in a literal UX and content vertical. But the internet isn't all one thing. What about a slow meander around Wikipedia or going deep into a well-linked blog post? We used to call this web surfing. You can go deep in a way that's attentive, focus-oriented, and enriching. With hypertext, you move horizontally across the web. It's a journey. You can seek out topics on the internet and add to them from your own little island, contributing longer and more thoughtful content away from the torrent of social media that then you throw your links into to show that you are more than ordinary in the feed. Digital detoxes are for the privileged. What's better, instead, is to manage the way that you travel the internet. Don't let it come to you, because you, personally, get to decide where you put your attention and what you put your effort into. Your attention is sovereign.